Did you make up your mind that Tom Brady was the best while you were researching this book, or had you already thought he was the best before you started to work on the book?
Oh, no, I thought he was in the conversation. Certainly in the conversation of the top 5, and at the very least the top 10. It was really when I started to look at it in some depth that I came to the conclusion that he's the best. So I had come to that conclusion before I started writing this book, but I came to it in the process of putting together a book, just by sort of looking at the history and looking at the data, and it was a conclusion that I couldn't avoid.
It's evident that you did an incredible amount of research into this book. How long did this take you from the research to the writing and then the writing to the finished product?
Well, that's a tough question to answer, because sort of 18 months. That's really the time from when I started working on a book about Tom Brady to when I finally turned in a manuscript to Triumph Books. In a way, I've been working on this book for 12 years because I've been watching this player's career since he took over from Drew Bledsoe in 2001. And I've written these books about Patriots history, and all of my books have been written during the Brady and Belichick era. So sort of 18 months and sort of 12 years and sort of 6 months too, because that's when I turned the corner from the light, easy, breezy Brady Manning book to this thing that very nearly killed me. This was a difficult book to assemble.
Why was it so difficult? Because the amount of statistics involved, or the comparisons over a wide range of years?
I think all of it. There were so many challenges in this book. One of them being the statistics. I like statistics. My wife says that I just like football for the math, and that's partially true. I like to sort of crawl into football statistics in particular and see what I can make of them. And I think statistics are important when you're writing a book like this, because statistics are the evidence of success in sports, particularly in football. You measure success by wins and losses, but you measure individual success according to a defined set of statistics. So I had to include a lot of statistics in this book, and there's a part of me that loves that. And there's also a part of me that understands that people really hate statistics, and the last thing you want to do is throw a bunch of statistics at somebody, because you put them to sleep, you lose them quickly. And then there's another part of me, and it's sort of the same person, who loves, what I really love is to tell a good story. I was an English major in college, and have had a career as a journalist and a writer, and my football history books, my Patriots history books, are really about telling the stories. I'm not someone who walks around with a lot of dates or statistics in his head. I walk around with a lot of stories in my head. So I thought, great, we'll get the statistics person and the story person, and we'll get them together in a room, and we'll make this neat book. And it worked out that the statistics, me, and the storytelling me don't like each other very much, and really resisted working together. And so that was one of the challenges. This book involves a season by season review of Tom Brady's career, and that's where those two parts of my personality had to get together, and they didn't like it. The other challenge was that I needed to compare Tom Brady to the great quarterbacks who have played the game, the great passers who have played the game. And I didn't want to do that in a way that was going to be disrespectful of what these players have brought to the game. I start with Sammy Baugh, who was the first great passer in the NFL, and all the way up to the other great passers who are playing the game currently. And I didn't want to be in a position where these people who have brought a lot to the game were being torn down to make a case for Brady. I felt like if you're going to make a case for Brady, you got to make a case for Brady in the context of all this greatness, not by saying, Joe Montana wasn't that great anyway. You got to say Joe Montana was fantastic, and Brady's a little bit better. And so doing that was another challenge. And all of that stuff put together made this quite a project.
This excerpt is brought to you by the Massachusetts School of Law, the leader of reform in legal education and a leader in multimedia education for the public. To view the full interview and for a full listing of MSL's programs, log on to mslaw.edu.